It's no secret that AI is our world's next frontier. In fact, it was a major talking point during this week's World Economic Forum.
But where I kind of worry is in the AI race that if in a fit of pessimism, we do something like what Bernie Sanders wants, which is he wants to stop building all data centers, or if we have 1,200 different AI laws in the states, clamping down on this, clamping down on the innovation, I worry that we could lose the AI race because of a self-inflicted injury.
Here in America, winning the AI race is critical, but we're seeing pros and cons still every single day. Take this report, co-authored by an assistant professor at Stanford, which claims AI raises average wages by 21% and substantially reduces wage inequality. But turn the page, and experts are sounding the alarm on the risk of children forming romantic relationships with AI chatbots. Thankfully, we have Michael Kratsios navigating these uncharted waters. He's the director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, and he sat down with me to break it all down. Michael Kratsios, we're excited to have you on My View. Thank you so much. As director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, you're sort of at the helm of the AI transformation. So for those people who are still a little unsure about what artificial intelligence is, can you give us your version of how to explain AI to the average person?
So artificial intelligence is a transformative technology that will allow us to be able to make breakthroughs in lots of different scientific areas, and along with that, allow American workers to have a new tool in their toolkit to be able to do their jobs better, safer, faster, and more effectively. And it's something that not many technologies have as characteristic, but AI is a technology that is going to span across so many different industries and domains. Whether you're in financial services or whether you're in healthcare or whether you're in academia, it is a technology that you will be using every day. And sometimes people forget that we're only just in the very beginning. What we're going to be seeing over the next few years is they're becoming a lot more powerful in specific domains. So if you are a cardiologist and really need a good model on the heart and how to treat health patients that have heart issues, that's where you're going to see a lot more breakthroughs through. And you're going to see that across so many domains in the U.S.
Well, when you took this job back in March, President Trump wrote you a letter and asked you 3 key questions. So I want to revisit those with you and maybe have you respond to how it's gone in those spaces as of right now. So he first asked you, how can the United States secure its position as the unrivaled world leader in critical and emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, quantum information science, and nuclear technology, maintaining our advantage over potential adversaries?
So of the 3 questions in the letter, that is by far, I believe, the most important. So let's start with AI. That was a big announcement that we made in July, where we signed out the AI action plan. Not many people know this or tracked it, but President Trump was talking about American AI leadership in the first Trump administration. He was the first president in history to sign an executive order in 2019 to drive U.S. leadership in this domain. And because of what he did in the first admin, we saw all these great breakthroughs in things like ChatGPT and so on. But in this administration, what we have to do is maintain that leadership position. And the plan for AI is really threefold. One is around innovation. We have to keep funding scientific discovery in the U.S. so the next great breakthroughs in AI happen here in America. The second pillar of the AI plan is all about infrastructure. We have to have the right power generation and data center capacity to drive this AI revolution. And the third is around international domain. And when I travel to countries around the world and talk to tech ministers, everyone wants to buy American tech, and that's going to be a huge priority in the next year.
The second question the president asked, how can we revitalize America's science and technology enterprises, pursuing truth, redirecting administrative burdens, and empowering researchers to achieve groundbreaking discoveries? Is our research and development infrastructure advancing at a pace to keep up with technology right now?
I think it can always do better. The federal government alone spends about $150 billion annually on scientific discovery and innovation. And what we're trying to do is make sure that the dollars that we spend as a government have the highest ROI, the highest impact. If we're giving another dollar towards a particular health domain, we want to make sure that we're actually getting outcomes for American people. So progress is being made. And the key initiative under that second chapter and second question was the signing of a gold standard science executive order, where the president laid out we must return to gold standard science, things that are defensible, things that are reproducible, so that Americans can have trust in the scientific enterprise.
Okay. And the third question, how can we ensure that scientific progress and technological innovation fuel economic growth and better the lives of all Americans? I think you look at this space and it makes some Americans a little nervous. So what is your message to the American people on this? Where do we stand on this front?
So on that front, there's kind of two things we think about of the impact of this technology. One is, how can we prepare our young Americans, K through 12, to be able to understand this technology and be able to use it when they go into the workforce? And the president has been very forward-leaning on this. He signed an executive order in April, which created an AI education task force. And the key is, how can we bring young people to be ready to leverage this technology wherever they go in the future? So we have something called the Presidential AI Challenge, where students across 50 states are doing AI projects this year. But that's just through K through 12. We have to think about all the other American workers that are working through this. And Secretary of Labor has done an incredible job in launching reskilling and retraining programs. There is Make America Skilled Again program that the Secretary has launched with almost $100 million in funding for upskilling American workers who can actually leverage this technology for new jobs in the future. I think if you rewind over 100 years ago, the vast majority of Americans were in agriculture. Now it's, less than 5% work in agriculture. New jobs will come about. New jobs we never heard of or never thought about, never imagined are going to be a significant part and an important part of our workforce. The key is that we as administration need to help people transition into those new roles.
So maybe you can talk about how important it is to win this AI race and why, especially when we're talking about our adversaries, maybe like China, who's chomping at the bit to catch up with us in this space.
Yes.
It's so important that the U.S. win.
The question is, what does winning mean? What does it actually mean to win? And the answer I always give is it's all about adoption. What are the technologies that not only Americans, but people all around the world are using? And we're in this sort of very lucky mode right now where we are the best across the entire AI stack. So what is a stack? It's the chips, it's the NVIDIA chips that everyone talks about. It's the models that run on top of them, things like ChatGPT or Google Gemini. And then the third layer of that stack is the applications, what you'll be using at a hospital or in government to actually run those models. And across all three of those layers, the U.S. is dominant. We're the best in the world. So we're at this really special moment where we can go out into the world and export those and have everyone running on our technology.
We saw a major announcement from the Department of War bringing AI tools to our service members. And I think this is huge. The Secretary of War said the future of warfare is here, and it's spelled AI. So as the former undersecretary of war yourself, tell us, what do we need to know about this space?
The Pentagon is one of the largest bureaucracies on planet Earth. This is an agency and a department that can leverage this technology to be far more efficient. And what's been incredible about what the Secretary has been able to do is creating tools that can span and be used across the totality of the Pentagon is actually very, very, very hard. And our ability to actually create one platform that everyone can have access to is a big leap forward. And it's a first step in bringing AI into lots of different workflows across the Pentagon.
There are, kind of a lot of ethical concerns that I think people have when you're talking about AI. We're worried about potential bias or misinformation, privacy issues. What can you speak on when it relates to that from your perspective in your role?
We want the American people to be comfortable with this technology. If no one trusts it, if people think that it's biased or that it's censored or that it's unsafe, they won't use it. And that's not good for us or for anyone because it's a powerful technology that can be beneficial. The president signed an executive order talking about the necessity of creating a national framework for AI. And in that executive order, he talked about the importance, for example, of child safety and how we have to think about these models being used by young Americans. So we as administration want to make sure there's that very, very critical balance.
So where do you want to see the United States, say, at the end of President Trump's second term?
We need to be leading the world in emerging technologies. And AI catches all the headlines, but that's only one technology. There's AI, there's quantum, There's nuclear. We do a ton of work around supersonics, space flight. We do work on drones and autonomous systems. The president is launching the EIPP program, which is a pilot program that's going to have robo-taxis all over the country. So for us, we have amazing things to look forward to. We just have to stay vigilant because all of our competitors around the world know that unlocking future growth in our country is contingent on emerging tech leadership. We have that here in the U.S., and we want to maintain that for years to come.
Still ahead, our country's health leaders have flipped the script on our old nutrition guidelines. But what does it mean for your next trip to the grocery store? The food babe herself, Vani Hari,